YouTube, ladies and gentlemen, guys and girls, welcome to the channel. I'm Asfar from Hot Rods DFW. So I wanted to make a video because I think I have been alleged of being a Shelby fanboy, and that's not partly wrong because it's my car and I love Shelby. So yeah, I mean, I love this car, but I think as a YouTuber I need to bring both the pros and cons to you guys. So I wanted to make this video today about everything I absolutely hate in this car. And the word is hate, because there are a lot of things that I will show you which I don't like, but I'm fine. I mean, I know it's a sort of a $100,000 car trying to compete with the supercars, so there are some quirks here and there, but there are things which I absolutely hate, and I think Ford could have easily done them right, and it's a pure cost cutting, a terrible cost cutting. So without further ado, let's get right into the video. Okay, so now the first thing, as promised, which I really hate in the car is, let me show you. So there are these Recaros. Now you heard me right, the Recaros, but hang on before you go too far. I love how the Recaros feel. I love how the position is, how I sit and fit into it. So I think they're beautiful seats. What I hate is these Recaros are fully manual. Yeah, you heard me right if some of you haven't known this. So this is the manual for back and forth. There is no bolster adjustment, so they are what it is. So you're a bigger guy or a smaller guy, you have to live with that. And then even the front and back is fully manual, so like those old school cars. So just like bunch of levers and nothing else. Zero electric, guys. Even the Dodge Charger had some part electric. I think the position, the front and back in my car was electric. Now I know what you guys will say. Oh, come on, this is again a $100,000 car. They give you Recaros. So before we go too further, let me show you something. Right, so this is what I wanted to show you. So this is my ZL1. Now let me show you something, guys. Hang on. Now look at this. So this is Recaros. Absolutely the same Recaros. I mean, not exactly the same, but the same company, Recaros. And this one is fully electric. So it has all, I think, 8 or 12 whatever different modes. So fully electric with bolster and everything, both on the driver and the passenger side. And also heated and cooled. So look at this. So that's the heated. Let me see if the camera does justice. Yeah, heated and cool. And now in this car, this is a standard option. So there is no $1,600 like what the Shelby charges, $1,600 for Recaros. ZL1s all come standard with Recaros, no extra charge, and this is a $70,000 car. So it's like almost $30,000 less than the Shelby. So if they can do it, why not Ford? And it doesn't stop here. This car is full of gizmos. It also has a heads-up display. I can't show you that right now, but it has a full instrument cluster which gets projected and which shows you the revs and all that very nicely. So yeah, guys, I mean, there is no excuse. I think it's pure cost cutting. And yeah, that's a 760 horses engine, but this is also a $70,000 car. So when you charge $25,000–$30,000 more, I think that's unacceptable. So yeah, that was my ZL1, guys. So no justification, absolutely none, that why Ford could not do these Recaros when they actually charge $1,600 as an option. Why could they not make it at least heated and cooled, at least some electric? So that's thing number one. Now number two, and I'm going in the list in the order in which I kind of hate them the most, right? So let me go with the order. The second one, and I don't like that, is, let me try to do justice. So you see how the front wheels are so tucked in? So now let me show you the back. I love the stance of the back, like it nicely comes out. It's in fact much better than a lot of other cars. But look at the front now. So it's almost like 2 inches tucked in, and I don't know why. I mean, I kind of get it. It's to help with the steering, but I have a lot of other fast and muscle cars and performance cars, and they don't have it. Like even the Corvette or the ZL1, they don't have it so much tucked in. So I really hate this one, guys, because look at this. It's almost 2 inches in. Now I know some of you will comment that, hey, just put a wheel spacer, but honestly, I'm not comfortable in putting a wheel spacer in such a high performance car. I just feel like I will be compromising on the safety, and now it's in my head. It may be purely in my head. I may get something very sturdy, but I don't think I'll be comfortable doing that. So I have no option but to live with this thing. And I just hate it on the stance. Look at how much tucked in it is. Like when you go on the side, you literally can't see any bit of the tire, but you could still see the back one. So yeah, it's almost 2 inches. And I don't know if it was cost cutting, what was the reason. I know the wheels are wider at the back. They're 11.5 inches at the back and 11 inches in the front. But this positioning is more than ½ inches. It's easily 2 inches tucked in. So yeah, they could have fixed this problem and added a better stance and look to the car. Now it may have something to do with the aerodynamics and handling. I don't know. They could have researched a little bit more and did it a little bit better. Okay, so now moving on to the third. Now let me show you this. And this is in fact more not just something I hate, something all of you guys have to be careful. Now when you try to open this boot, obviously, I mean, you go here, you press the lever and you open it. Now there has been a couple of videos, and I follow Shelby Flyer quite a lot, and Tim made a video about this. So what happens is now you can see there is no handle, nothing. Like in all other cars, even I think in some Corollas and Camrys, they have like a grip here, so you can hold it and then push it down so it goes on its own. So you have nothing. So what typically we start doing, because we don't want to scuff the black part here, so people start holding it from the side, which is what I did on my base car, or just the end of the spoiler. And what happens is, if you go ahead and do that, let me first close it, and this is how I have to wiggle. I wiggle it, and then I close it from the center, and let me go here. So whatever side you grab, and I don't know, typically it's always that side, the left side, your car will start losing paint from here. And I don't have a picture of my base car, but it happened on my car, and I was like, oh, maybe it's not happening on my car. Tim's car had a paint loss here, and almost all the GT500s I've seen, because people don't realize, and you will start seeing a paint peel off, and then you'll slowly start seeing the actual whatever it is, the steel or whatever the material is, and your paint will be gone from here. And that's stupid of Ford to do this way. I don't know if they didn't think about it. So now what are your options? I mean, either you jiggle and wiggle like what I do, or you actually just go and shut it from here, and that creates another problem, because this is a super shiny piece and it'll leave fingerprints very quick. And then I know you guys love your GT500, so you will start wiping it off and then you will end up scratching. So the other resolution to that one, I think, is even if you're not doing the whole car PPF, you can just do PPF this part. Like somehow talk to a good PPF guy and just PPF this part, then you can happily hold this part and shut it down and then wipe it off, and it will never leave scratches. So I have the whole car PPF. So I mean, I don't mind even doing that, or I don't mind jiggling and wiggling. But yeah, guys, this is something not expected. I mean, they could have easily given like some holders or handles to make this thing better. So this was my third, and the last one, and not the least, is, let me talk through it. I can't show that to you now, but that happens while I'm driving. And yeah, I know there's still stickers and all. I like the feeling of the new car, but it already has 700-800 miles, so I better get rid of it. So yeah, I mean, when you drive, and it's not just this car, it's almost all the cars. So you can see this part is flimsy. Let me try. Yeah, so I don't know if the camera is capturing, but it easily wiggles. And I think the problem is this one. At certain, when you're building speed and at lower gears, I think because of the engine revving higher, there is a sort of a humming noise, like a grunting or a humming noise, and that's like more like a vibration, and I think this part vibrates. And guys, that has been in almost all the cars. I'm lucky on this one that I have not had, touch wood, I don't want to jinx it, but I have not had any other rattle issue. But that one is really it bothers me. Like whenever I drive and I try to speed up, there's a very annoying humming or a vibration noise. Now yeah, you can try and crank up the music, but that's not the point with these cars. I love my exhaust note, and my music is probably lowest in this car, so that's why I don't care about how good the speakers are. So yeah, that's something, another, I mean, bad part. And that brings me, and this is not, now we are out of the hate part, that brings me to the general question, the build quality. So I think that's also that's definitely a part of the build quality. But yeah, guys, the build quality is not great on these cars. I mean, honestly, every car will have certain problems, and with that, let me show you this. And this is not, again, we are out of the hate section. This is something I know, I understand. So look at this. So it's not touching, thankfully, but when I bought it, it was actually touching my fender, and this is, I think, the side splitter, and I was very worried that it'll scuff my paint. So when we did PPF, so Will, my buddy from the PPF place, he managed to pull it a little out, but again, it has gone back further. It's not still touching, so we may have to do that process again. But yeah, this is like a poor build quality. Now let me see if I can pick that one up. So this car I have been lucky, guys. I'm glad. So this is still aligned. Like if you see in some cars, the gap in the hood on right and left is not equal. So on this car I think it's almost equal. I mean, it's still not. As you can see, this part is a little bit up than the rest of the body on the hood. And yeah, I mean, even on this car you see this gap is lesser on the right side than on the left side, and it's more flush on the left side. So I mean, yeah, poor build quality. Some other things I had that in my base car. Thankfully I don't have it in this car. But the panels on many of your cars will be smaller, like this part may be smaller, so you have these panel gaps. And one thing, again, not so much on this car, but I don't like it. It was more on my base car. If you see this part, the door is high, sits higher than the fenders, and that kind of got my nerves. But on this car the problem is not that bad. Let me see if the camera captures. It captures slightly, but on my base car it was really annoying. But it's super flush on this side, as you can see. So yeah, I mean, these are like little quirks. So I think body quality, and I already spoke about how raw drilled the spoiler holes are. So the body quality and the fit and finish is not great. The paint quality is not great. So those are some of the general things, but that's to be known. I mean, that's also the case with other ZL1s or even Corvettes and stuff. But yeah, those were my 4 final things, guys. So just going back on the list: Recaros not being heated, cooled, or having any electrical adjustment, and no memory seats. That's number 1. My number 2 was the wheels being so tucked in. My number 3 was the boot position, so having no ability to open and close the boot without scuffing your black plate or the taking away your paint. And my number 4 was the humming noise I showed you. So interior, like the dashboard quality, but in particular not just the rattles. I mean, rattles will be there in any car, even a Mercedes has them, but that particular spot, which is a problem in almost all the GT500. So the whole plaque is loose and they have no solution for that. So yeah, guys, thank you for watching the video. I mean, this was my first hate list on this car, but everything else I loved about this car. The moment you sit in the car, I think it just takes away all the hate. But thank you again for watching the video, and please like and subscribe, and that gives me a huge motivation to bring new content to the channel. Thank you again.